Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In history, and I would say modern history, when a force, a country, people, a nation, whatever, the military invaded another country, they tried to destroy that country's culture, traditions, intelligentsia, and obviously the heads of the nation. Why? So the nation, the rabble, could not have a direction. So that's one thing that a lot of people did in history, and one of the most famous incident was in the Second World War in 1940 in Poland, in the Katyn Forest. It's called the Katyn Forest Massacre, where the Soviets, not the Russians, the Soviets, when they invaded the other side of Poland, when the Germans invaded the western side of Poland, and somehow the Soviets were not declared war upon by the free world, only the Germans. Very interesting. So these Soviets, with their commissariat, they killed about 20,000 Polish military officers, intelligentsia, and so on. Priests, university professors, teachers, and all that could, help the society preserve its, how should I put it, culture and traditions and so on. Keep it united. Let's put it this way. Now I'm going to go to this Katyn forest for the ones that are not familiar with. And this Katyn Forest massacre was in 1940 of Polish officers, but it was the intelligentsia and prisoners of war as well. So the Katyn massacre was a series of mass executions of nearly 22,000 Polish military officers and intelligentsia prisoners of war carried out by the Soviet Union, specifically by NKVD. Remember, People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs, the Soviet secret police, in April and May 1940. Now, though the killings also occurred in the Kalinin and Kharkiv prisons and elsewhere, the massacre is named after the Katyn forest, where some of the mass graves were first discovered by German forces. Now, the massacre was initiated by NKVD chief Lavrenti Beria proposed to Stalin to execute all captive members of the Polish officer corps. So let's see who this Beria is, okay? Because they say Beria, the Russians. Beria, we find out that Mr. Beria is right here is Georgian. Mr. Beria is a Georgian, not a Russian. All right, so this is one of those guys. And then Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin is again Georgian. It's a Georgian born. Yeah, Georgian, okay? So this is what you do with intelligentsia. Now that gets me to today's article. Today's article is Snipers Target Priests First. The Russian Orthodox Patriarch states. So what happened? This article comes from today, the 26th of January 2023. 5 Russian Orthodox military chaplains have been killed during the conflict in Ukraine, he reminded lawmakers. All right, I would say, why would they, they go over there in the front lines and they play their whatever role they have. Orthodox chaplains in the military, the capellans who give guidance and inspiration to troops on the battlefield, risk their lives as much as members of the flock do, or even more, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church has stated. Now for the troops, this priest who is with them is inspiration, is like intelligentsia for the masses. And I'm quoting, a priest is the most valuable target for the enemy. Snipers aim at them first, end quote, Patriarch Kiril said on Thursday during a speech in the Russian parliament. Now you can say, well, he made it up. How would he know? And blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't know how he knows that, but he said that. Now, if I put that in the same context as the Katyn forest, when the Soviet commissars killed the intelligentsia first, so the masses would lose guidance and leadership, I would say that this incident, this statements could be valid. A priest is the most valuable target for the enemy. Why? Because it provides guidance and example. Snipers aim at them first. I don't know if they do it first or not, but anyway, this is what the commissars, the Soviets, did first in, not first, but you know what I mean, in Poland. Kiril was explaining that the Orthodox priests are banned by their faith from serving in the military or even from taking up arms. The role of military capellans is as important and requires as much courage as that of a soldier. And I'm quoting, "Priests don't hide behind with the wagon trains. They are with the warriors, their flock, often at the most forward parts of the front line." End quote, he said. 5 priests have been killed during the military operation in Ukraine, the Patriarch reminded his audience. One of them has been posthumously awarded Russia's highest merit, the Hero of Russia. Okay, now, I'm trying to, how should I put it, because Patriarch Kiril said that they are killed first. That reminded me of the Katyn forest. And I was thinking, why would they aim at priests? And then again, Patriarch Kiril said, well, they are the most important. And I said, why are you most important? Why are you so important anyway? But I realized they're important because they are over there the moral support for the soldiers who are facing death. So they shit their pants. Yeah, you shit your pants when you're over there. You're not as, movies and you see, you're scared. You're scared. And some need help. Imagine a 19, 20-year-old, fighter being over there the first time and being shot at and all that after 2-3 weeks of being in the trenches, or it gets to you. So they need God more than ever. And who's going to be the connection between them and God? These priests. And if they are shot, you demoralize the fighters. So yes, to a certain extent, Kiril is right. And again, the thing that happened in Katyn forest, I'm very, how should I put it? I read about it, so I know more than about the priest that Kiril is talking about. Is very interesting there because the Germans, they uncovered those. So when the Germans declared war or attacked the Soviets, they pushed the front eastward. So when they got eastward, they discovered those because they were told by the Polish population, hey, this is what the Soviets did. So the Germans went over there, and before they started digging up those graves, the Germans called, they called the Red Cross, and they called all kind of observers from the Western countries, not only from there, Italy or Japan, from Western countries. They called the mass media. They came over there, they took pictures, see, this is what we found. Shot in the back of the head, hands behind, some of them not. You can see them, you can find them on I think online as well, pictures and so on. So nevertheless, the Germans proved to those guys, this is not what we've done. We found them. Now, after the Second World War, guess who was accused of doing the Katyn massacre? Yes, the Germans. Why? Because that's how the victors are. And then in 1991, so after the Soviet Union disintegrated, they opened the archives, and indeed, only then the whole thing was switched. So from 1945 to 1991, the Germans were the perpetrators of the Katyn forest massacre. So that's how things work. So now, after this little thing, or big thing, I would say, in Ukraine ends, either way, how do you think history will be written? Will be written however the victor, if there's going to be one, which I doubt is going to be one, because I guarantee you both sides will claim victory. They will end up, as I said, if the Russians are disappearing the echelon, the first echelon, about 300 of them, Putin and all those guys, the leaders with the military heads, if they disappear and come in and take their place, and Russia becomes the whore of 1991 to 1999, then it's going to be written in one way, and there's going to be a victor. That's the NATO, United States. But I don't think that's going to happen. But that's a probability and a possibility. So in this case, it's going to be probably at the end, they're going to decide, okay, let's talk. And when they talk, both sides are going to claim victory. I guarantee you that. The NATO will guarantee, I guarantee you, they will say, we are the victors. The other ones will say the same thing, unless they're going to be turning crazy and they will use nuclear weapons. If that is not going to happen, and if Putin and all those guys are not going to disappear, if you know what I mean, like Katyn Forest style, then we're going to have two victors. If you can, that's equal right here. I don't think so. So the snipers are hitting the priest. I think that's possible because, listen, an order is an order, and they start, when you had those Nuremberg trials organized by the victors, they pointed the finger at German military leadership, and not only, a lot of the Germans were killed because of war crimes and all that. And one of the argument used was, why didn't you refuse to obey the order? Why not you use your conscience? Anyway, so in this case, these guys are following orders, and if someone will point a finger at them, they're going to say, well, it was an order, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever it is. What I'm trying to say is, war is a crazy thing. And all the nice fuzzy feelings that we might have, and values and norms in normal life, with a glass of wine, with, relax and so on, and we can philosophize or talk like I am right now. I understand that. It could be very, very different from how we would react under war circumstances. I understand that. So you can say, oh my God, they wouldn't shoot a priest. I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying that they are. Kiril said they are, so that's his story. But I wouldn't put it past that happening. As I said, war is a crazy, crazy thing, and brings out from us the worst. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.